Welcome to another section of optical communication networks, Unit 2, optical detectors and optical fiber components. Today we discuss about the first topic is a pump sources for amplifiers. And what is meant a pump source? How effective utilize these pump sources in amplifier sections. In previous classes we discussed about optical amplifiers, how optical works, how optical amplifier works, how pump sources which is used, whether it is in direction or opposite direction. Already we discussed what is the use of pump sources in amplifiers, which you have to select the wavelength of a particular optical signal in the amplifier. Then we have to go for amplification of the particular light signal. That is, the pump sources are used in the amplifier sections. We have to select a right wavelength. Select a right wavelength in the optical fiber cable. Here, what is the power of the pump sources? Is Muster should be high. Muster should be high. That is in terms of several watts. Several watts. Here, there are different methods are available for designing of these pump sources. One of the best method is to combine number of high power semiconductor pump lasers in a serial manner. In a serial manner, that is, we have to take, suppose we are go for a single pump source laser, we are take, then we are getting some gain. Suppose two pump sources connected serially, we are getting more gain than the single pump source. That is, we have to serially connected number of pump sources of the laser, then we are getting high gain and high power. We are getting. Here, see this one, this figure, which shows a multiple semiconductor pump lasers. This is one pump laser section, second pump laser, third pump laser. That is total 10 sections. 10 sections of the pump lasers with different wavelengths. Suppose we have to select this wavelength, particular wavelength, particular pump source. We are getting 15455 nanometer. 1455 nanometer wavelength. We have to select. Suppose we have to go for second one is 1366. Next third one is 1288. That is, we have to number of optical signals transmitted through a single optical fiber cable. We have to select a particular wavelength of a signal. We have to go for this pump sources. Pump sources. Here, see this one. Right here in this pump source, this is optical fiber cable, basic optical fiber cable. We have to use Bragg gratings. You know the concept of Bragg gratings. What is use of Bragg gratings? The Bragg gratings which is used for changes from one mode to another mode. Not only change the mode, which is used to transmit the particular direction. How it can be possible? It is based upon the number of slits and what is the distance between each slit is called the pitch. Right. It depends upon this number of slits in the Bragg ratings. Based upon this direction only, we have to check which direction the signal propagates. Here, the input pump we are taking is 1100 nanometer. 110 nanometer. But we are getting output pump is 1455 nanometer. We are getting is 1100 nanometer. The taking output is 1455 nanometer. That is input to output we are getting increase the wavelength. That is amplification done. Amplification done. Actually input we are taking is 1455. After some distance the wavelength is decreased slightly or some decreases here. High to low decreases. Whenever it is decreases nothing but we are getting some attenuation. To overcome this attenuation problem we are go for amplifier section. While applying this amplification optical amplifiers, then gradually increasing. That is up to this point, the input pump is 110. This part we are getting, but after this one we are getting 1455 nanometer. That is increasing the wavelength. That's what is called the pump sources for the amplifiers. Increase the wavelength of a particular signal by using a serial manner of a number of pump sources we are used. This is about pump sources for the amplifiers. Right. Next, we are go for the main topic is optical switch. Here, what is the basic meaning of switch here? The switch is nothing but whether we have to on and off condition. Two conditions only, whether on and off. What is mean on condition? Passes. What is mean off condition? It is a open. it is open. There is no connection takes place in the switch. Here, based upon this basic concept of the switch, now we are going for what is meant by optical switch. Right here, these optical switches are used in optical networks for different applications. That is depends upon applications only. We have to design the optical switches. Here, the optical switch is nothing but either 2x2 switch, nothing but 2x2, anything but 2 inputs and 2 outputs. It's a 4x4 or 8x8, 816x16. It depends upon the application. We have to design the optical switch. Suppose we are going for application. Suppose we are going for the first application is provisioning. Provisioning, nothing but what is meant provisioning application. Here in this provisional, the optical switches are used to cross connect. Cross connect. What is meant cross connect? Suppose I am taking a 2x2 switch. That is a 2x2 element. Nothing but 2 inputs and 2 outputs. The first input is connected to second output. The second input is connected to first output. Just cross connect between input and output. That is called the provisioning application. The second one is protection switching. Protection switching. Suppose in telecommunications, suppose I have to connect 2 paths from Tirupati to Hyderabad lines. Tirupati to Hyderabad lines, we have to connect 2 paths. That is, one is primary line, second one is secondary line. What is the why you are using 2 lines? That is 2 connections needed from Tirupati to Hyderabad. Why? Suppose the primary connection is damaged. The primary connection is damaged. We are going for alternate path is secondary path. That is 2 paths we have to select, primary path and secondary path. We are using only primary path initially. Whenever the damages, we go for secondary path. That is called the protection switching. Next, the third one is packet switching. What is the packet switching? Instead of transmitting total data at a time, we have to divide the total data into small fragments based on the concept of fragmentation. Each one is called the packet. That is, we have to transmit by packet basic. That is about packet switching. The next one is external modulator. External modulator. Here, what is meant external modulator? That is external modulator whether we are using either LED or laser. Whenever the signal passes through that switch, the light is on. Whenever the no signal passes through that switch, the light is off. That is called the external modulator. Here in this provisioning application, what is the switching time required? That is how much time it takes to connect. Either on condition or off condition. That is 1 to 10 milliseconds for provisioning. For protection switching, 1 to 10 milliseconds. For packet switching, 1 nanosecond. For external modulator, it is 10 picoseconds. Next, go for number of ports. Nothing but one port connected to one customer. Likewise, for provisioning, the number of ports is greater than 1000. For protection switching, 2 to 100 ports. For packet switching, greater than 100 ports. For external modulator, only 1 port. Only 1 port. This is about optical switching. Where exactly used in the application part. Now we are going for next important parameters for switches. Important parameters for switches. The first one is extinction ratio. Extinction ratio, nothing but it is the ratio in between on and off of a switch, right? On and off of a switch, right? That is how much power required for on, how much power required for off condition, how much time required for on condition of a switch, and how much time required for a off condition of a switch. That is, suppose we are for on condition, the required power something for the numerator. For the off condition, how much power required is the off condition in the denominator. That calculate by numerator denominator, that is on power divided by off power, we are getting extinction ratio. Generally, this extinction ratio for a simple mechanism is 40 to 50 dB we are getting. For high speed applications, we are getting 10 to 25 dB. This is about extinction ratio. Next one is insertion loss. Insertion loss, it is nothing but it is also called as the attenuation. How much power loss between input power to output power? It is very small. And the switches are not identical. And switches are low polarization dependent loss. Low polarization dependent loss. And which maintains latching condition. and the switch is nothing but readout capability. A readout capability. Next one is we have to calculate reliability of a switch. These are some of the important parameters of a switch, that is extinction ratio, insertion loss, and whether it is identical or not, and low polarization control, maintain latching condition, and readout capability and reliability. Next, we have to go for large optical switches. Large optical switches. Suppose the number of customers in a network is only 4 customers. At that time, we need only 2 cross 2. That is the single switch is enough. But 1000 customers in the network, in telecommunication networks, and 10,000, 1 million customers, or 10 million customers. At that time, we have to go for large optical switches for large customers. For large customers, that's why we are going for large optical switches. Here, what are the consideration of these large switches? The first one is, first we have to consider how many number of switches required for designing a large optical switch, and how much loss we are getting, and number of crossovers, and what is the blocking characteristics. This is the 4 considerations we have to go for building a large switches. That is, first one is number of switches required, how much loss we are getting, and number of crossovers, and what is the blocking characteristic, whether this is blocked or non-blocking. What is meant by blocking and what is meant by non-blocking? Here the blocking is nothing but, suppose customer 1 connected to customer 2. Customer 1 is connected to customer 2. Already the line is progress. Suddenly the customer 3 try to connect second one. At that already blocking we get. That is already 1 and 2 are connected. We are getting engaged signal or call waiting. At that it is the blocking. Non-blocking is nothing but whenever the destination customer is free, automatically it connects. That is about blocking and non-blocking. Next, we are going for different types of switch architectures. Different types of switch architectures. Here in this different types of switch architecture, the first architecture is crossbar switching. Crossbar switching, that is cross connect between the 2 customers. Here we are taking 4 cross 4 crossbar switching. That is the number of customers input side is 4. The number of customers output is 4. 4 cross 4 crossbar switching. Then how many switches required here? 4 cross 4. 16 switches are required to design this 4 cross 4 crossbar switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 switches are required to design a 4 cross 4 crossbar switching. Each switch again having a 2 cross 2, 2 inputs and 2 outputs. Suppose we have to connect from customer 1 to customer 3 in the destination. See this one line, red line shows how it connects. From port here, we have to connect. If the switch is on now, we are getting here. See this, the line connection goes to 1, 2, 3. Suppose at the time 2 is connected to 2 is ready to connect to 3. Is it possible? Not possible. Already 1 and 3 are connected in a line. The 2 is blocked. That's why the crossbar switching is called a blocking. That's why we are going for the next switching here is a class network. Class network. That is alternative paths. What you are going for class net architectures? Reduce the blocking and increase the performance of a system, and take alternative paths. Take alternative paths. That's why the class network is called as a strict sense non-blocking switch. Strict sense non-blocking switch. Here, see this one is the figure example here. A 3-stage 1024 port class network. That is the number of customers. Input side is from 1 to 1024. Output side 1 to 1024. Here each switch is right. It's 32 into 64. Nothing but 32 input switches, 64 outputs. Likewise, we have to design 3 stages. 3 stages. Suppose we need to connect from 1 to 1 here, directly path there. So for 1 to 33, go for the first stage to second stage to third stage. Likewise, we have to connect without blocking. Here, how many number of inputs, how many outputs for the first and third stage is called M into P. M number of customers input side, P number of output customers the first and third stage. For middle stage, it is a K cross K. Number of input ports for middle stage is K, outputs also K. This is about class network. Yeah, why you are going for class network? The class network we are going for is it is a non-blocking switching. That's why we are going for class network. Next one is SpanK architecture. SpanK architecture. Here in this SpanK architecture, where the input and output side we are giving only one customer for the each switch. See, suppose n customers are required. It is there in a network. N switches we have to require. That is n customers. For each customer we have to require one switch. The receiving side also for each customer one switch. We have to connect from first stage to second stage or last stage connected to all paths. This is called as SpanK network. Next we are going for BNS network. BNS network. Why you are going for this BNS network? What is the use? What is the use? Here in this BNS network, we have to decrease the number of switches first. Right? See this one. In this SpanK network, for each customer required one switch. To require the number of switches to be decreased and increase the performance of a system and rearrange the network. Suppose we are getting blocking in a network. How it can be rectified this blocking by only the concept of rearranging the switches. Rearrange the switches. At that time we are going for BNS network. BNS network. Here what is the best example of this BNS network is there a non-blocking 8x8 switch. That is 8 input customers and 8 output customers. For designing of this thing, but we have to design in a 5 stages. Design in a 5 stages. In these 5 stages, right? For each customer, we use one switch, 2x2 switch. Likewise, only 4 switches are required for the first stage. Likewise, total 5 stages, 20 switches are required. 20 switches are required. This is a simple mechanism to connect from first stage to second stage and second to third stage to fourth stage, fourth to fifth stage. This is about BNS network. Next, SpanK and BNS network. That is, we have to implement both SpanK network and BNS network in a single architecture. That is, why you are going for combination of these two, just rearranging the SpanK network by using BNS. Here also we are using 8x8. The number of stages which is equal to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stages required to connect from input to output. Number of customers which is equal to number of stages. Number of stages. Here in first stage we have to require 4 switches, but we are going for the second stage. It is depends upon the 2 power n. What is the n value? N value equal to 3. 2 power 3 which is equal to we are getting 8. That's why I got only 3 switches. But second, 4, 6, 8 stages. Here there is no crossovers. There is no crossovers. A direct path. See this one. There is no cross or direct path connections takes place. But in previous section, number of cross connects can be high in the BNS network. To overcome this cross connects, we will go for SpanK and BNS network. Now we have to compare this all switching architectures. That is, what is meant by crossbar switching, what is meant by class network, what is meant by SpanK, what is meant by BNS, what is meant by the combination of SpanK and BNS. Here, what is meant by Non-blocking type, the crossbar is wide sense, the class network is strict sense, the spank is strict sense, and Beness and final spank and Beness rearrangeable networks. Next parameter is number of switches. How many number of switches are required to design a particular architecture? For crossbar switching n square, for class network 4 multiplied with root 2 multiplied with n power 1.5. For spank network 2n, for Beness network n by 2, 2 log n base 2 minus 1. For spank and Beness network n by 2 multiplied with n minus 1. Next parameter is how much maximum loss we are getting. How much maximum loss we are getting. For crossbar switching it is 2n minus 1. For class network is 5 into root 2n minus 5. For spank network it is 2. For Beness network is 2 log base 2n minus 1. And spank Beness is n. What is the minimum loss? The minimum loss for crossbar switching is 1. For class network is 3. And spank network is 2. For Beness network is 2 log base 2n minus 1. And spank Beness network is n by 2. This is about what is the optical switch basic definition. What are the applications of this optical switches is provisioning, protection, right? External modulator, packet switching. These are 4 applications we discussed, and different types of architectures we discussed. That is crossbar switching, class network, spank network, Beness network, and spank Beness network. Next, we are going for what is meant by optical switches technologies. Optical switches technology in a real time. There are different types of optical technologies are available to design these optical switches. The best one is MEMS and PDL. What is meant by MEMS? MEMS is nothing but micro electromechanical system switch. And what is PDL? Polarization dependent loss. Right. Next we go. What is the different technologies we discussed? The different types of technologies are bulk mechanical and 2-dimensional MEMS, 3-dimensional MEMS, thermo-optic silica, and liquid crystal display. I think you know liquid crystal display, polymers, electro-optic, LIN, BO3, and semiconductor amplifier SYM. What is the size? First parameter is what is the size? What is the size of the optical switch technology? For bulk mechanical is 8 x 8. For 2D MEMS is 32 x 32. For 3D MEMS 1000 x 1000. For thermo-optic silica is 8 x 8. Liquid crystal is 2 x 2. For polymer is 8 x 8. Electro-optic is 4 x 4. For semiconductor amplifier is 4 x 4. This is the size, exact size of the optical switch. How many number of inputs and how many number of outputs. Next parameter is loss. How much loss we are getting from input to output. It is in terms of dBs. For bulk mechanical it is 3, and for 2D MEMS is 5, for 3D MEMS is 5, and thermo-optic silica is 8, liquid crystal is 1, polymer is 10, electro-optic is 8, and SY is 0. The next one is crosstalk. How much crosstalk we are getting? You know the concept of crosstalk, how crosstalk can be exists in a network, how it can be over. For bulk mechanical, the crosstalk is 55. For 2D MEMS is also 55 dB, and 3D MEMS is 55 dB. Thermo-optic silica is 40. Liquid crystal is 35 dB. Polymer is 30 dB. Electro-optic is 35 dB, and SY is 40 dB. This is about crosstalk. The next parameter is polarization dependent loss, PDL. For bulk mechanical, it is 0.2 dB. For 2D MEMS is 0.2 dB. For 3D MEMS is 0.5 dB. And thermo-optic silica is low, very low. And liquid crystal is 0.1. And polymer is low. Electro-optic is 1. SYA is low. And the final parameter for this optical switching technologies is switching time. How much takes it is, whether it is on or off condition. For bulk mechanical is 10 milliseconds. For 2D MEMC is 10 milliseconds. For 3D MEMC is 10 milliseconds. For thermo optic is 3 milliseconds. Liquid crystal is 4 millisecond. And polymer is 2 millisecond. Electro optic is 10 picosecond. The finally semiconductor amplifier is 1 nanoseconds. These are the sum of the optical switching technology which is used in real-time applications. Do you have any query? Type your query in a chat box. Thank you very much for attending today's class.